Hello, everybody. I'm John.
And I'm Claire.
And today we're talking about MNET Backlash, or MNET, I'm not sure, or MNET.
MNET.
Backlash. And this article is talking about this sort of music awards, right? Mm-hmm. It was hosted in Japan, and some controversy came out of it that is language-based. What type of music do you guys listen to?
I'm still stuck in the past, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm an old school rock fan, mm-hmm. I would say from sort of mid-90s to mid-2000s, that's my sort of core area of new metal, grunge, punk, rap rock, you know, a bit of metal, sometimes a bit of goth, this kind of area. That actually, strangely, is coming back into fashion a little bit these days. So I am strangely getting back into modern music, contemporary music, a little bit. But that's because it reminds me
of the past. Retro is in.
It is, yes. My kind of retro.
Yeah.
How about you, John?
I have controversial opinions on music. I don't want to even say a controversial opinion. The fact that I don't really have opinions on music makes it controversial. I don't seek out music typically, especially these days. I've never even looked for songs these days at all. If I hear a song that I like it. And if I don't, I don't. However, back in the day, I'm that old. I can say back in the day now, when I had a car and I could turn on that radio or listen to the songs that I wanted to, it was between, like, there was a lot of 90s and very early 2000s, but a lot of 90s and 2000s, and then there was a lot of 60s and 70s. There was 80s too. So anything from like probably later 60s all the way over to maybe early 2000s was in the wheelhouse. I like that music.
There's some great stuff in the 60s and 70s, I think, you know.
Yeah, 17's dropped off a little for me. It was like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, kind of like that feeling.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
50s was a bit too much sometimes.
A bit of Elvis or Chuck Berry.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Real rock and roll.
Real rock and roll. Okay. I like how they call it rock and roll, but it was really just like, it feels like classical music now.
Yes, it's so... From the classical period. We'll put Elvis right next to Mozart.
Yeah, exactly. It feels so tame. But back in the day, it was like people were angry at Elvis for being so controversial.
Indeed.
Yeah. K-pop or Western?
You know, I've spent so long in Korea, I had multiple attempts at trying to get into K-pop. I feel like I was too old, too weird, too Western, too rock-focused. I couldn't get it, and I couldn't get it, and I couldn't get it. And then, I think I found the way in. You've got to get into not just the music, but the group. You know, they do TV shows, they do commercials, they do appearances or bits of comedy here and there, and they do other stuff outside of the music. And it's sort of like a story of this little family, and the mothery type one who's looking after everyone, and the young one, and the funny one, and the sporty one. And so once I got that part, then I think I got more into the music.
So let's go ahead and go to that next part, because I am interested to learn more. Go ahead and read the article. If you can, read the whole thing. That's going to be best to do. But if you're a little bit maybe short on time, you can take that summary and read it as well. And we'll see you soon.
MNET Backlash. Korean bands were prominent winners in MNET's 2022 Asian Music Awards in Osaka, Japan. The ceremony was hosted by singer Jun So-mi, and everybody agreed she did a great job. However, some have commented negatively on her use of English. Although she spoke well, people feel that she should have represented her country by speaking more Korean during the ceremony. At the same time, people understand that the choice was not hers, so most of the criticism has not been personal.